I don't think we officially met. We haven't. I'm done.
You're zone 7.
I'm in zone 5.
Here's some, yeah, zone 7.
I live in zone 5. I'll have to give you that time. Because I live in zone 5 to get to that.
You do where?
250 now. 15.
That's
Looking there. Right by the pool. Oh, there's a very next alley. Oh. I'm leaving here. It is. Oh, that's a good one.
What a novel idea. Let's look at some, what I do with my map. Hang on, I got it.
Today.
No, you have it. You have the. Here we go.
Yesterday. That's usually where I see her, but I've also. Here's the floor. I've seen a couple of times. Leave here.
It's right there.
Which zone is coming up tomorrow?
Right. 4D.
Okay, we're not that far. Or.
We can decide. We can check. But we can just decide where we're going to meet. So let's see. 4D.
Right here.
Just a Yeah, so we could meet at, we could meet at 1417. Commons. That's
I'm
right.
good.
at 4D.
Sure. Oh, okay.
14.
Safe here.
Thank you. Well, you
Great.
can't even be there or not?
How are you?
Okay. So
Hey, Jim.
expand on that. So we'll be there 1417. Okay.
And they're at 9 AM, right?
9 AM, yeah.
I'm glad.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Well, you printed it out. That's the only thing I didn't print
I called and asked.
to get.
Yes.
Yeah, I printed everything else but that. I printed it for me. Well, if you're taking just this, there's not that. I did, I was ready to run out of paper.
Yeah, it was exactly the same.
Right.
It's quite a few houses compared to, well, some of the others.
How are you doing, Tony? This breakdown of the number of houses. Okay, so zone 3 has 92 homes. And zone 2 has 100. Zone 1 is 103 homes. Zone 5, 95 homes. Did I think 5 yet? Oh, 78 is Paul.
No, I totally get it.
75. I am not one. Zone 7 is 39 homes. So you can see that obviously zone 1 and 2 are the largest. Is then comes. He's better with some. The east one, 7. 39, 6, so 3. I could actually get those.
According to the, on the 16th, it's 3D on the landscape walk.
Welcome zone
On the
5.
16th of June.
And 4D is the 23rd.
Hit the wrong one?
Marcia, I said, welcome zone 5. Yes.
Today's the 15th.
I saw you walking the dog. I thought maybe you were bringing.
Bonnie, yes, okay, it's 3.
But a few
then.
minutes
Thank
ago, I saw you walking the dog. I thought maybe you were bringing.
The one gets bring one. Shit, never
Find a reason, find a reason. They're close together.
Yes, so why should we meet 3D then? Let's see. Coming just closer to the. 501. 700. Get in there, look. Okay, the first one.
Okay.
So we should meet at 501, do you think?
Granddog?
Let's see what, actually, you know what? I'm going to get the zone stewards to decide. Let them decide where they want.
But it's.
I'm going to, yes. Oh, yeah, oh, thank you. Okay.
And I can even see the number of, is that 700?
Yeah, that's. Yes.
Yeah.
So, what we'll do is, the 2 zone stewards can tell us where they want us to.
I got another packet.
Made my own.
Oh.
Areas that I
That's
have
what
to
we
go
want.
around, you know, so I think
Well,
No. So this is done next.
and garden and then.
Or you.
I think you.
Which one is the bill?
Okay, gotcha.
If you don't find it, that one. There.
And then we're recording and everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. Hi, Oscar, I saved you a seat. We need to get one more. Great here.
Thank you.
And there's another seat down here too. Yeah.
And there's one over here.
Handouts. I think.
well, there-
Really? Okay. See anybody there? Okay, all right.
Who's taking us?
Here, I'll save your seats. Yeah, make it easier. Well, you guys sat there last time. Last time was my first meeting.
Gotta get some of that grease in there, color it in, make it brown or black.
Cover which you
Rose is one, two.
Yeah. You get the last. Hi, Paul. How are you? Hanging in there. Yep.
Let me ask. Dude,
There's nobody on that chair, so you must have didn't want you to sit there. So clearly, there's no one there, so they must have told you that it was taken. Oh, wonder.
There's two empty seats.
Yeah.
Don't walk.
No, yes.
minutes on the last meeting.
Got one minute. Let me see.
So,
Oh, there is a.
Diane Gruber.
Which ones?
Yeah, she'll be there.
Okay.
So we can one.
You have ratings.
No. Oh, that was this one.
Five thousand.
Okay.
That's another thing I have.
Look at that.
There she is. We're all here.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
Meeting
Part of the.
The meeting is beginning. Got it? Okay.
Have a seat, mate.
Um,
The jokes get worse as the day.
You've got the agenda right there. Okay. Well, welcome. Everyone's here. Good to see you all. I'm an old face, so I believe I've met everyone.
Close to you.
Hey. I'm Pam Livingston. Some of you know me. And I want to start off by giving our new liaison an opportunity to. That's you.
To do what?
Whatever it is that you want to do in your report.
Okay, did you want to talk about the guests?
I do. Okay. I'd like to have you introduce yourself. We have 3 guests. $14. And you live at 12. And Carol. Carol, what's your address? You're going to have to speak up because we're writing this down, so we want to know.
Mine also.
Okay,
Be on Zoom.
I set it up over here, but.
that's a good idea.
Anybody needs a microphone here?
Well, we have a mic here for the guests.
This lady has his-
Yeah, let's just do it with that mic for right now. Just get name and where you live.
Teresa McCracken, across the street.
Across the street, right across the street. And introduce yourself again. So this is on Zoom and if it'll go through better if you,
Hi, I'm Amy Mickle and I live at 12 Adelphi Court.
good.
Paula Connors, 14 Adelphi Court. Carol Duke, 205 Dunbarton.
Well, welcome. Did you get that?
Thank you.
201?
You want her to repeat it?
Which, could you repeat it?
205 Dunbarton Circle.
Got it. Okay. Christina?
Yes, hello, everyone. Delighted to be back here on this committee again, not as grounds chair, but as the liaison, board liaison. I also, you will notice that Cheryl Nelson is present. I've actually asked Cheryl, since we've worked together for the last 10 months or so, to actually come and assist as well on grounds, since it is a lot of work here. With trees and with the landscaping, and we got some new members. So Cheryl will be present at the meetings, and she will be assisting me in the running, I guess, of the landscaping and the tree work. So what I'd like to do now is to ask Cheryl to maybe give us a brief recap on your time as the liaison before we handing it over.
I'm happy to do that. I'm glad to still be with the committee. I was kind of thinking it would be a shame if I was with someplace else with the new board. I thought we really did accomplish things last year. One of the things that I thought we did particularly well was come up with a ranking system. And that's going to help us, hopefully, for a long time in making our recommendations. I think that the other thing that was significant is breaking down our zones into smaller groups. That gives us a chance to go out and really be specific and make sure we see front and back on all sides of every unit in our own zone. And the other thing that I think that was significant because of that is that we're now able to let homeowners know when we're likely to be in their area so they can anticipate when stewards will be there and can contribute if they'd like. I think that the walk schedules that we've developed are really helpful. They are on the website so people can look them up. Beyond that, I think we did a lot of work, a lot of walks, and the recovery from the storm is also significant, for which we have to thank Carson and Grove in their work. So I thought we did a great year last year, and I'm glad to see so many of you back and welcome some new members as well. The organizational chart. Oh, well, that's a communication chart. I am a person that likes to see things that are pictures and to help me figure out what works and if I've covered the bases. So this is an organization and communication chart that should be in everybody's handouts. Basically, this is talking or reflecting how within our community we work. How a relationship, the committee to the board to the manager to our contractors. And basically, we start with an advisory committee who gives information through their chair to the liaison and from there to the board. The board's going to set policy based upon what we recommend. The reason for the chain like that is to make sure that everybody's included and that we have all sizes, a whole rounded picture before things come up. The role of the liaison is to reflect to the committee and to the chair what the board is looking for, the direction of the board. The board also communicates with Dusty, our manager, and she's the direct contact with everyone in our vendors, whether it's Carson, Grove, or any other vendor. So this is just a reflection of the way communication goes. The committee chair will communicate with Dusty. And so it's a reflection of communication paths and channel.
Thank you.
Does
Everything
anybody have
that
any questions about it? I guess I should ask that just because I like
is in
it.
your packet.
It's in the packet. Yeah. Anybody have any questions about?
Got it? Everything that I sent out to you, I printed up for you. So it's in your packet. Any questions? Okay. Dusty?
Okay, hi. For those that haven't got a chance to meet me, I'm Dusty Favicki. I'm your new general manager here. I'm happy to be here. You have to bear with me. I'm still kind of understanding my roles, as it pertains to this committee and what kind of information you'd like to hear from me during these manager reports. But I jotted a couple of things down, and these are items that Oscar, is probably going to be updating you on. But just a couple of dates that I've got that I just wanted to pass along to the committee. Turf fertilization will start on the 26th. The approved stump remediations for the 17 different areas, we have our dates for that. They'll begin July 17th, and they'll be working on that through September 23rd. I just thought I'd make it known also that we did have a limb failure at 1007 Dunbarton. It has been cleaned. 1007 Dunbarton. It happened Tuesday night, and it has been cleaned up and taken care of. This was actually in zone 3 that Paul had just got done walking, correct, Paul? Correct. Yeah, and it was actually a tree that was going to be marked for recommendation for removal anyway. So just wanted to make everybody aware that it's been cleaned up. It was very minimal damage to the unit. There's some damage to the fence, and we're having the roofing contractor come and just evaluate that roof to make sure that there's no damage there. So that's being taken care of. The only thing I want to go over was kind of what Cheryl mentioned. We're revising the landscape service request process. They've worked, that is Christina and Cheryl have worked really hard on updating that process, simplifying it, organizing it, so that everybody has a better understanding of what happens when a service request is submitted. So I'll be working on implementing that process and keeping residents updated on that process. There'll probably be mention made of it in the next newsletter as well. That's really all I have, unless there's something else you wanted me to. Yes, let me see if I can get access to it first, because I was having some trouble when I was trying to figure out how to share screen. That's not what I want. I pulled it to the desktop, and that's what I'm trying to access. Microsoft. Let's see, that's not what I want either. Bear with me just a second. If I'm not,
Guess it doesn't really matter. We can just mention the fact.
well, what I
based on
could
the
do,
minutes.
so what I could do is
Yeah.
provide copies. If anyone's interested in seeing it, I could provide you with copies. So during the last committee meeting, and I don't know how many were present during that committee meeting, there was a recommendation that was posed by the committee to the board to request that Carson and the Grove give us a more detailed breakdown of cost for the tree work proposals, and also a priority scale was discussed. They did put together two proposals. Both have been approved, but they did give us that breakdown so that I could share that with you so you could see a more detailed breakdown. I wanted to actually put it up on the screen, but we're not able to do that right now. So if you'd like a copy, just put that request in writing, send me an email, let me know, and I'll provide you with a copy so that you could see that breakdown. And that was a recommendation that was made per the committee to the board during the last meeting.
Do you want to introduce the?
Oh, I forget I have to have a microphone. Would you introduce yourself? Because we do have some new people here. Want to start with you? Mike?
Is it on? Okay. So I'm new to the committee. I'm Jean Dasher. I'm Marcus Dasher's wife. And I'm in Zone 5, and I'm going to split Zone 5 with Don Elwinger. So, and I walk that area about 2 or 3 times a day already.
I'm Lisa Tafoya, Zone 3.
Kathy Waugh, half of Zone 6.
Sulbay Toft, Zone 7.
Jolene, yeah, Zone 3.
Joan Todd, South Zone 6. Pardon me, North Zone 6.
Don Elwinger, Zone 5, and I'm sharing that with Jane Dasher.
Jim Shaw, temp for Zone 1.
And I'm Pam. Go ahead.
Diane Duraway, Zone 2.
Good.
You have the minutes of the last meeting in your packet?
I'll get used to this. Maybe I have to get one. I'll tie around my neck or something. Did you read the minutes? Did anybody want to approve them or have questions? In your packet are the meetings from last May 18th meeting?
So this was the minutes from May 18th. Does anyone want to approve that? Because that's the ones we discussed. So Diane, yeah, second?
A second? Kathy? All in favor? Any discussions? Nope. All in favor? Abstain? Did you abstain? Okay. Okay. Did you get that? Okay. So it's approved. Okay, moving on. Does anyone over there want to make a comment or the homeowners? I am. Okay. Can you come up to the mic?
Yeah, hi. I'm very new to this process and I'm not sure what your protocol is. And if I'm out of line, please tell me, but I do have some questions and I don't want to waste a lot of people's time. I really came to find out who the Zone 1 reps were. And the staff told me I had to come to the committee meeting to do that. So I have a question about your April meeting because there are draft minutes that refer to a Zone 1 tree report or recommendations, and then the committee recommended to the board that the board approve it. And then the board, I guess, at their executive committee meeting in May approved it. But my question revolves around the junipers by the tennis courts. And I was at a board meeting in January where the board specifically took it off a proposal. So I'm just but the original proposal back in January said that if the trees were to be removed, that there would be plantings. And since there's no information from your grounds committee and the board's minutes are not on the website, I was curious if I could get a copy of that report and see what the scope of that work would be.
I can address that. The report was in the board packet for, was it Dusty, was it for April? Was that your first time when you did I think it was April.
It came at the very.
So it could have been May. It was in the May. It'll be in it's
May.
in May, in the May board packet,
No.
and you will,
No, it's not in the packet. I've looked online.
no, there was a sports court report in there where it actually outlines exactly why the junipers were removed. So what we could do is provide you with that sports court report, if you'd
Okay.
like. And I believe the office maybe has that report, but otherwise I can find it. And we can give you that. And that was what was discussed by the board in May. I believe, where are we, June this time? So it was May. We did the sports court report. Either way, we'll give you a copy of that report. It's a very detailed report about the tennis courts and the various other courts, but it does deal with the sports courts, and that will give you the answers that you have just raised, questions you've raised.
Okay. Is it possible to look at the Zone 1 tree report, the proposal?
That has nothing to do with the junipers. The tree report is separate.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have a question. In the June newsletter, it says the board approved $6,600 for the removal of the 8 trees at their May meeting. So is that part of the Zone 1 46,000? It's just unclear to me.
No, the
all these
46
moving parts.
Right, the junipers was a separate. It's totally separate. It has nothing to do with the tree
Oh.
report. The tree report is very separate to what we discussed because that's more landscaping.
Okay.
The tree report belongs to Grove. That's their division. And the junipers and all the capping the irrigation around the tennis courts and removing the roots there is a Carson
Okay. But it was
expenditure.
approved by the board, the 6,600 in their executive session
Correct.
on May 3rd. But because I guess it's executive session, there was nothing about it in the board packet.
Right, I guess so, because I wasn't on the board at that point in time. So yeah, executive session, it usually comes,
Where all the contracts are approved and discussed.
Dusty, can you use the?
Sorry, I turned mine off
Oops,
and I'm not
oops,
using
not
them, but
supposed
executive session is where all the contracts are reviewed and approved by the board. So if you ever have a question on, anything that's in the newsletter that's not clear and you want a more detailed breakdown, just reach out to me. I'm happy
I
to.
went and asked at the board, at the office, and they said they couldn't give me any information. I had to come here today and verbalize that. So that's why I'm here. But I don't want to waste any more of your time.
No,
So
if
I
you-
will come and get a copy of that.
The sports court report.
Yes.
Yep, I can give you
Is
that.
it on, is it part of the package on the?
Yes,
I
it is.
believe we did make that part of the open board session
Okay,
packet.
I'll look
The
again. I
report's in
didn't
there.
see
Mhm.
that. in
No, it
there.
is definitely in there. The report is there.
But I'm happy to provide you a copy of the
Okay,
report.
super. Thank you.
I'm just also a little confused on the timing because it appears that that this was approved on May 4th. The trees were removed on June 6th. And the first time I saw something about this was in the June newsletter, which came out on the 12th after the trees were removed. So there's just, I've got some questions, but I don't think right now is the time for to
So which
address
one
that.
were
So
you
we will-
questioning? Which work are you questioning?
The juniper trees.
The juniper trees? Okay, and what was your question on that? When it was approved versus
Yeah,
when it was
there's a-
actually
when it
carried
was-
out?
Yes, when it was, when residents were informed
Mhm.
that this was happening. So,
It was,
I-
that work was approved during their May executive session on May 3rd.
Correct, but it was not in there was no communication, at least my understanding is to residents until after the work was completed. It was in the June 12th newsletter.
Okay,
And the
I
work was-
could look into that
And the
for
work
you.
was completed on June 6th,
Mhm.
so.
I could look into that for you. There's no chat.
Peter?
Yes. My name is Peter Fairchild. I'm zooming in regard to 2274 Swarthmore. A while back, maybe February or March, I submitted a application to for authorization to do some landscaping at the front of that unit. And I'm just checking in to see what the status of that is, whether the application's been approved or what the next step will be. Is this a good time to discuss this matter?
So you said 2274 Swarthmore?
Yes.
I can get back to you on that after the meeting. I just want everybody else to keep in mind also, I've been here a month. I'm still getting used to the processes and procedures. And of course, coming off of all of the storm damage that we had, we are kind of holding off on personal individual service requests for new plantings, for remediations and things like that. So I do have a stack of service requests that I need to provide follow-up to the homeowners on. And I'm assuming yours is in that stack, but I could definitely verify and get back to you with an update once I confirm that.
Well, that'll be great. Should I contact the front office just to make some arrangements?
Sure, you could always reach out to the front office or reach out to my email directly. My email address is in the newsletter.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Grove report? Paul?
We don't have a report for this grounds committee. The zone 3 tree walk we took place on Monday. So I will have a zone 3 report in the July meeting, and I will present zones 3 and 4 at that meeting.
Thank you. Oscar?
Hello. Just a brief reminder about the fertilization. We're gonna do the fertilization of the turf on the 6, 26, 23. And the deep watering also for June is gonna be on the last week of June. INF, insect and fungus spray, also is gonna be on the last week of June. Same as the field weed spray. At this point, we have 4 days of watering, 1 start time. And on the irrigation evaluation, as I mentioned before, we did zone 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we still have 6 and 7 to work on. On the renovation, as Dusty was just mentioning, for the 17 stumps, we have that scheduled for July 17. And I believe we don't have a schedule yet for the tree pruning on zone 1 and 2, correct?
Yeah, we don't have the zone 2 work order yet. But zone 1.
Or zone 1.
The tree report would be scheduled in July, take place in July. For the zone 1 tree report that was presented earlier in the year, that will be scheduled for, the work will be scheduled for July. We just received that official approval, so we have to permit, and then we'll have it on the schedule for kind of late July for that work to take place.
So on the maintenance about the detailed pruning. So basically we finished 2 weeks ago, we finished zone 1. We basically started this last week again, the rotation. Zone 2, it was finished 2 weeks ago also, so we're gonna restart that one. Zone 3, we finished 3 weeks ago, and basically you probably see area started to really grow on that other side now. And zone 4, we gonna be completing that next week. Today we almost get finished, but a set of buildings has not been done. I saw an email about saying that we didn't really prune the zone 4 or didn't follow up on the zone 4, but I don't know where that came from, but we basically want to finish on Monday or next week, I will say. So I don't know what they're looking at versus what have been pruning. Zone 6, we finished 2 weeks ago, so we're gonna restart that one. Same as zone 7. 5 is it's been finished a week ago. Mhm.
Diane?
I have a question about the remediation. If the remediation is not, if it involves the turf on Swarthmore from that big huge tree that fell down. Right now, there's weeds growing. Is it going to get too warm before we can put sod down? Because that was the plan, to put sod. Just talk to us.
So as I mentioned, we're gonna start on July 17th. So about those weeds, we already gonna be taking care of those weeds. We already sprayed the area, so they're gonna be no longer there.
One more question. The watering, okay, now we all know, all right, the watering, I noticed you're talking about 4 days of watering. Is that the?
Everything.
All right, because.
The sprinklers on the turf.
The big place. Yes, no, Sunday, Monday, it was watered. And then Wednesday, and I'll go out tonight to see if it's watered. It seems there's puddles. There's I gave it to Zarina today, the leak. There's a leak over there in zone 2 in the Netafin. But I'm just wondering, 4 days a week, is it going to be Sunday, Monday? No, I'm just trying to figure out if there's flooding involved. The other thing, let me just finish. The other thing, the other thing is, and I think that I have the answer to the problem, is that there is a sprinkler on the corner of Swarthmore where that patch of dirt is. And it's only going to the right over the sidewalk. And my idea is that you guys have it programmed that way because you don't want it in the dirt, so it would grow more weeds.
Sometimes it's just a matter of adjusting.
It's
Let me defend myself, nice guy. So basically, some of those rotary nozzles get stuck and they basically doesn't rotate. Some other ones get twisted and irrigates another area. So other areas where you're saying is paddling, when it's a dip on it, and just water collects in there. So it's a matter of you guys report it and I will get it fixed.
no, that's the big green area. I'm talking about the one that's on Swarthmore, and it's right on the corner where that tree fell down. And I'm just wondering if you purposely have that water going to the right so that it doesn't water that empty, big, huge dirt space.
No, the reason that one is like that is because at the time that the other tree was in there. So, well, let me back up a little bit. When they did the installation of the sprinklers on that section, they didn't do it right. So that's why that section was always kind of suffering before and was also hitting a section of the tree. Now that we're going to do the remediation, I'm going to fix all that and add up a couple of sprinkle heads so we have a pattern of water on the grass.
Any other comments that you want to make? So if I see something amiss, who do I report? It says to the liaison, or who do I report something to?
You'd report that first to the office and let us know. So irrigation reports are going to be a little bit of a different process than just general landscape reports. Because of course, we don't want to wait and push anything and make it wait through a process that's related to irrigation. So that's something that you just make the office aware of, and we would push those concerns out to landscape immediately.
Okay, so if he said he just finished pruning zone 5, but I know a couple areas that were missed.
As far as maintenance goes, you just ask if,
Looks like there are a couple of areas that were missed on pruning.
Okay, let me
What do I
explain
do
that.
about that?
Let me explain that.
Okay,
It looks like we missed, but it's not. It's the type of plant material that it is. It grows really faster than others. So if you take a look at the section, some of them grow in a week. They grow like 2 feet.
okay.
So it's not that we missed anything. We
Okay.
always go through the whole area, but it's just the type of plant that it just grows really fast.
Okay, and then one other thing, Bill Endicott has a new, in our alley, new plants. One of them is almost dead, so must not be getting water. So would I take a picture of it and
Yeah,
give
just
it to you?
give us a report and we will take a look and see if it's watering or something else is going on.
Okay, and send it to the office. Okay, thanks.
I have one more question about that. Well, I went to the office today and told them about a leak. And Serena said that the new process is going to be that we have to fill out a form. I don't know. I don't know if she didn't realize I was a zone steward and I kind of look out on this stuff or what, but I'd like some clarification, what we have to, just as she's, what we have to do if we see something. I mean, I know that a water thing is, you got something that's water's leaking out, that's gonna
yes,
be.
and
heavy.
anything irrigation related, we're not going to put you through the process of filling out a form for that. We're just going to take it from the office level and report it to landscape directly. The request process and putting something in writing, for example, would be I'm unhappy with the plantings in front of my home, or something's not being done according to the service contract. Okay, put your concerns in writing and we'll put it through the request process. Irrigation is something we never, want to wait on. So we're just going to push those concerns out to the landscape contractor right away to evaluate. They're here 5 days a week. We send those requests over immediately.
Thank you.
Any more comments, questions? You have a question?
Yes. Tremendous amount of content that's very interesting in those 2 reports on a regular basis. Is there any chance that we could get a copy of those reports as we come to the meeting so they become part of our packet and our record, because it's awful hard to keep up with it verbally?
Are you referring to the Grove proposals?
No, just the reports that were just given.
Oscar.
The
Also,
regular
yes,
report
they will be in the minutes.
As reported.
Yes, as reported. Yeah, they will, and they've always been, if you notice, even in the May 18th minutes, it's very clear with the Carson update, watering is scheduled for, so that's where we put it.
After the fact, if we had a chance to read them, we might be prepared to ask questions, but that's a.
What
minor
are you,
point.
so what you're suggesting is perhaps getting this, his report in a draft report sort of before the meeting? Is that what you're looking at, or what?
We are to receive materials before each meeting. I don't know what burden that puts on the guys, but.
Yeah, yeah.
We'd have to ask our contractor, right,
Yeah.
and see if they'd be willing to provide that
Yeah.
to us ahead of time.
Yeah, because they're kind of, they're really busy. So that's why they take time out to come to this meeting here at 3 o'clock, even though it's off. But we try and get the minutes out ASAP, as a few days after the meeting. So that's where it's in.
I was trying to keep up with the notes on the two reports. and
Right.
Burn my pencil.
Got it. Yes, we've got it. Yeah, we're good. And then you can always, when you send the draft minutes, if we miss anything, you can always just scream.
Okay. Any more comments from the committee? Okay. And any comments from the homeowners? Well, the meeting is adjourned.